Hi and welcome to Healthy Life Hacks. I'm Jefferies, the present-day wise woman, a realistic naturopath coming to you from the surfing beaches of Australia. This podcast is for those of you who are wanting to really rock your life and health and live from a place of prevention. Let's get into today's episode. Scales lie. Scales lie. As a woman, we know that scales lie, and yet we still torture ourselves. We torture ourselves with weighing ourselves and comparing ourselves and then giving ourselves a hard time that our body is not working the way we want it to. In this podcast, I want to talk about why scales lie and why we need to toss these things out of our life. Let's go. I've been a naturopath for 30 odd years. And I know that, and as a woman also, I know that for some strange reason, we'll use scales as a measure of our health. However, they don't give a true representation of what's going on. So I want to give you just a little bit of background to think about some of the things that are influencing it so that next time, if you choose to jump on the scales, you won't just get defeated like I see so many women do. The bottom line to start is that the fluids in our body fluctuate on a daily basis. Hormones influence that. So whether you are still getting periods or whether you are like me, postmenopausal, just those pure hormone fluctuations are going to have a difference in how your body's showing up on a set of scales day to day, over a week. Influences of things like the foods you've been eating and how much salt has been in them. That's going to influence the fluids and the weight then. And it's not necessarily water retention, but it's just the way your body's using fluids. That's huge. And so, weight is not, or scales are weighing everything, your bones and muscles, your fluids, everything. And there's just such a big part that fluctuates. It just does. We know, again, logically, we know that muscle is heavier than fat. And yet working with women, I work with women, coaching them with their health one-on-one. And I remember one woman, I worked with her for a few months and really got her going well. And what I found was after 2 months, she had only lost 5 kilos on the scale. She was devastated. But she had lost more than 105 centimeters of her body. Over a meter of physical size she had lost, and yet the scales moved 5 kilos. 5 kilos we would usually say is 1 dress size. She lost nearly 4 dress sizes. Why? Because she was focused with her nutrition and working with me and her exercise to be building lean muscle. Lean muscle is smaller than fat. Her body changed so much and the scales lied. And yet I would see her, torturing her brain, torturing herself with the fact that she wasn't losing weight. She had lost so much size, but her mind was tricking her because she was seeing the scales as being the truth. Even things like the time of day that we weigh ourselves. You might think, yeah, but I always weigh myself in the morning, Jen. Yeah, but depending on what your sleep's been like, depending on the meal you had last night, whether you've pooed or not yet, whether you've drunk water or not drunk water yet, all those things influence what the scales are doing. So what I know is that the way I get people to just really get an accurate picture of where that, if they're gonna weigh themselves, I can't stop them. If they're going to weigh themselves, but I want them to weigh themselves no more than once a week, preferably every couple of weeks, because there's too many fluctuations. There is on guys as well, however, way more for women. And just daily life stress, anxiety, dealing with the family, dealing with work, all that kind of stuff impacts us so much on a daily basis. So if you are going to weigh in, I can't stop you. I can't make you throw your scales out, but really seriously, look at the frequency that you're doing it, because otherwise you are just doing your brain in, which then I know from experience working with so many women for decades is then usually they give themselves a hard time, they'll go and emotionally eat and the shit continues. We want to break that. So what do? I get clients to monitor how they're feeling with their clothes. If they really want to do a scan to get a starting point, I get them to go off and do a DEXA scan, because that really does show, the true visceral fat percentages, the body fat percentages, and the muscle percentages. So that is a test that you can go off to places and get a DEXA scan. That's the only one I really acknowledge as having the most accurate. And you would have that maybe once a month or once every 6 weeks. Traditionally, in naturopath, we see patients every 6 weeks to do monitoring things. But on a daily basis, monitor how your clothes feel. Now, there's a little disclaimer with this. What I've seen, and I see it in the clothes that you can buy out there, and even in guys' clothes. I wear guys' clothes more than I do women's because I just prefer them. And the amount of elastic waisted clothes has gone through the roof. So whether you're wearing skirts or dresses or shorts or pants, whatever it is, stop wearing elastic waisted clothes. I'm really serious, because they are the easiest way to creep up in weight and not notice it. Why? Because if we're wearing regular, like the old days clothes that have a fixed waist size, you notice when your clothes are getting tighter, and you will be more disciplined to live closer to nature, to move your butt, to do the things that are going to help you to come back into balance. But elastic is a trap. Elastic waisted clothes are an incredible trap. It really is. It's crazy. So that's an absolute action you can do. That's more useful than weighing yourself every day. Get rid of the elastic waisted clothes. Let yourself be uncomfortable. Don't just go and buy up a size. Buying up a size, again, is a trap. Buying up a size is a trap. People go, Jen, I just need to get my metabolism going. I'm going to, eat less, and I'm going to move my body more. But the problem is, the only way we will truly get our metabolism going is to gain more lean muscle. And I've done podcasts in the past about how women particularly, which is who I mainly coach with their health, we need to be having at least 100 grams of protein a day. And so many women are not having enough. And so many people, when they start working with me, I have them eating more than they've eaten for ages, and yet they'll gain muscle, turn their metabolism on, and help their body to lose weight. Again, that's it. And I want long-term change. So when I work with people, I don't just work with diet. I work with hormones. I want to balance out their stress hormones, because that influence directly, cortisol, day-to-day life stress, directly makes us gain visceral fat. Visceral fat's the heart attack fat. That's it. You can have a skinny looking body, a trim body. I do a lot of work with skinny stress heads, as I call them. But you can have a trim looking body that can still have a higher visceral fat percentage than someone who's larger. So scales are never going to show us what we need to be able to be having a day-to-day kind of measure. From my experience, the best, most effective day-to-day measure of our health is our clothes and how we feel in them. Just stop wearing elastic waisted clothes. They are a dangerous trap that is just going to take you down the rabbit hole that you don't need to be down. That's it. Weight is not, and I didn't even talk about bloody BMI. BMI is the most inaccurate measurement of our health. It just is. There's too many variables. So look, live close to nature the majority of the time. All the things I talk about in these podcasts are all the same things I do. We've got to look at our body physically, emotionally, mentally. Hormones are the biggest, stress hormones in particular are the biggest influence. If you are wanting to move weight, you want to get the body treated holistically, send me a message if you want to talk about these kind of things and see how I can help you. But we've got to be able to, one, manage our stress, two, get our detoxifying body systems to work properly. So intermittent fasting and things like that, we've supported properly with herbs is a great way to do that. And then you can put all the right foods back in. Then when the scales move, they're moving. Well, don't even go there. Just don't even bother about the scales. The shit lies. The shit lies. That's the bottom line. Well, we've got to look at our body holistically. And our mental state is such a huge part of that. And scales are always going to be demoralizing. Throw them out. Throw them out. They're not serving you, I promise. See ya. I want to thank you for being here today.
If you enjoyed my podcast, please let me know by leaving a review on Apple Podcast. Every month, I draw one lucky person who leaves a review, have a free 1-hour consultation with me. Be sure to subscribe to the show wherever you're tuning in from so that you always catch the next episode. I welcome your emails, and you can write to me at podcast@healthylifehacks.com.au. Until next time, remember, when it comes to life, live it, love it, and get on with it.